This week, two royal stories are colliding, and together they could define how the British monarchy is seen for years to come. First, King Charles is about to do something no reigning British monarch has ever done. He's opening up his personal finances for the entire country to see. And second, Prince Harry and Meghan are bringing their children back to British soil for the first time in years, to a place loaded with more emotional history than almost anywhere else in England. Stay with us, because both stories are unfolding right now, and they're more connected than they first appear. Welcome back to Royal Family Daily News. Before we continue, subscribe to Royal Family Daily News and turn on notifications so you never miss the latest royal updates. Let's start with the money. This Thursday, King Charles is expected to become the first British monarch in history to reveal his personal tax bill, not as Prince of Wales, as king. The disclosure will cover his private income, money from the Duchy of Lancaster, his personal investments, and the two private estates he inherited from his mother, Balmoral in Scotland and Sandringham in the east of England. Here's the part that makes this remarkable. British monarchs are not legally required to pay income tax at all. Charles chooses to pay it anyway, voluntarily, a practice that traces back to his mother, who only began paying tax in 1993 after public fury over the cost of restoring Windsor Castle following a devastating fire. But that's not the whole story. This isn't really about taxes. It's about trust. And the reason it's happening now goes straight back to one of the most damaging scandals the monarchy has faced in decades. Because the man at the center of that scandal is the king's own brother, and what he's accused of is far more serious than embarrassing headlines. According to the Associated Press, this disclosure comes after months of damaging headlines surrounding Charles's disgraced younger brother, the man now known simply as Andrew Mountbatten Windsor, stripped of his royal titles in 2025. Andrew is reportedly under investigation for misconduct in public office, connected to his friendship with the convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein. He's since been forced out of the sprawling royal estate, where he lived rent-free for years. What happened next surprised many royal observers. Rather than wait for Parliament or the press to force his hand, Charles made the decision himself. The palace says it was the king's personal wish, a deliberate move toward what officials call wider understanding and accountability. It's worth remembering, too, Charles had already pledged to slim down and modernize the monarchy before any of this broke, trying to secure the institution's future at a time when more people are openly questioning why a hereditary monarch still holds the role he does. So is this transparency or damage control? Royal experts seem split. If you're enjoying this coverage, please like, subscribe, and let us know what you think in the comments. Genuine reform or a king getting ahead of storm? And there's a number in this story that might shock you. Exactly how much King Charles is personally worth. Brace yourself for this one. King Charles has a personal fortune valued at £680 million, placing him at number 230 on the Sunday Times Rich list. He doesn't pay tax on the sovereign grant, the public money that funds his official duties. That's a separate pot entirely, covering things like staff, travel, and the upkeep of royal palaces. What he's revealing this week is tax on his own private wealth. And he's not doing this alone. Prince William, the current Prince of Wales, is expected to follow his father's lead with his own disclosure during a separate briefing. William's primary income comes from the Duchy of Cornwall, a portfolio of land and investments spanning around 130,000 acres, which reported a profit of nearly £23 million last year. Two generations of the monarchy opening their books in the same week. That has never happened before. But while the king is letting the country into his finances, his estranged son is heading somewhere far more personal. Because Prince Harry is coming home, and where he might be staying will break your heart. This is the story everyone's been waiting for. Prince Harry and Meghan are bringing their children, Prince Archie and Princess Lilibet, back to the United Kingdom. The first time the kids have set foot in Britain since the Platinum Jubilee in 2022. The trip is tied to Harry's appearances marking the one-year countdown to the 2027 Invictus Games in Birmingham. But here's where it gets emotional. According to reports, attention has turned to Althorp House, Princess Diana's childhood home, now run by her brother, Earl Charles Spencer. The estate has listed closures on July 10th and 11th, fueling speculation that the Sussex family could be staying there during their visit. Althorp sits about an hour from Birmingham. It's also where Diana is buried, laid to rest on an island in the estate's oval lake. And the timing carries even more weight. The visit would fall just after what would have been Diana's birthday on July 1st. Reports indicate the residence has been offered to Harry and Meghan, though it hasn't been confirmed whether they've accepted. But that's not the whole story. This wouldn't even be Harry's first time using Althorp as a base. He stayed there in 2024 for the funeral of Lord Robert Fellows. And in his memoir, Spare, he described bringing Meghan to Diana's grave for the first time, writing about the weight of finally bringing her to meet his mother. So why does this matter beyond the emotion? Because it raises a question the palace hasn't addressed yet. Here's what we still don't know. It hasn't been confirmed whether Harry and Meghan's family will receive taxpayer-funded security during this visit. Harry's security arrangements in the UK have to be requested at least 30 days in advance and are assessed on a case-by-case basis, a process that's already been the subject of legal disputes between Harry and the Home Office in the past. So as the Sussexes prepare to bring their children back to British soil for the first time in years, the security question alone could shape how, and even whether, this visit unfolds the way it's currently planned. Meanwhile, just days from now, the king will be standing in front of the nation, opening his finances for inspection, trying to prove the modern monarchy can withstand the scrutiny it's facing. Two very different stories. One family, one very consequential summer. So here's where we land. A king breaking centuries of financial secrecy to try to rebuild public trust. And a son who walked away from royal life, preparing to bring his own children back to the place that shaped his mother's story and his own. Whether you see the monarchy as an institution worth preserving or one overdue for change, this week tells you everything about where it stands right now, caught between transparency and tradition, reconciliation and distance. We'll be following both stories closely as they develop, right here on Royal Family Daily News. So tell us, which story matters more to you? The king's financial transparency or Harry and Meghan's return to Diana's home? Let us know in the comments, and we'll see you in the next video.